TV. Yo les gars, on est au JERA On Air avec des figures, que dis-je, des légendes de l'emo et du post-hardcore, les gars de Ysselsteyn. How does it feel to be finally on tour in the European Summer Festival?
Oh dude, it feels amazing, you know. It's been 2.5 years since we've been in Europe, and it's been 4 years since we've done the summer, festivals. So to be back here today at JERA On Air and just have this incredible show out here in the summer heat.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely incredible.
It's been too long.
It's been way too long. I think a part of us kind of forgot
the feeling.
Until we were up there again. And we knew it was going to be amazing, but the actual the feeling that comes over you when you're just surrounded this incredible crowd. It's like euphoric, dude. It's amazing.
There was a lot of people for you guys. I saw some bands yesterday and today, and when I arrived for your show, there was so many people. I just went my bag and just, oh shit, there's so many.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to have people come out and check it out, and we never know what to expect. It's still early. It was early in the day when we played, but we were on the main stage, so it felt incredible just to see people there. Some people were singing, tons of people were dancing, and tons of people were just kind of taking it in. And I think there's also that element too, where a lot of people I talk to, this is the first time they've been to a festival in at least 3 years. So a lot of people are kind of just getting their kind of feet wet again and kind of feeling those feelings again, just like we are. So it's really cool just to be in this together, and but the love is there, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Your previous album, A Beautiful Place to Drown, was out same time than COVID. So I was so bummed because that album is so cool with so many great featurings, like Princess Nokia was what the heck? Can you tell about this?
Yeah, I know, man. It was we put out that album at probably the worst time in musical history. Because there hasn't been a pandemic like this in 100 years. Records didn't exist 100 years ago, right? It was crazy. March 6th, the album came out, and March 11th, the world shut down. So it's probably the worst possible timing. But what's been really amazing is we didn't know if the songs from that album were going to get lost in the shuffle, but that album actually did really, really well. So many people listened to it. The streaming numbers were really huge, and we added Bad Habits, the first track from the album, to our set list back on the last tour, and people just freaked out about it. They were saying every word, and now we're opening with it. We're playing that song first, so it's really cool that despite everything that happened and we couldn't promote an album the way we are used to promoting albums, the 8 before it, that people were so excited and they found it and they listened to it on their own, and now they're here and they're like, holy shit, we've never heard this song live before. Bad Habits, let's go. It's a really good feeling.
Now you're back with this new album, Misery Made Me. For an original band like Ysselsteyn, for the emo scene, I wasn't expecting to be surprised with this new record, but only 2 years after A Beautiful Place. But yeah, what an album. Yeah.
Thank you. I actually think it's even better than Beautiful Place to Drown. I think it's a more emotional album, a darker album. Wow, that sun really came out. It's really just, I think, the most honest album we've ever made in our career because of the subject matter, how the last 2 years of pandemic life affected us, and it's a direct commentary on that. Everyone in the world can fucking relate to this, man. Whether you're from Netherlands or Canada or Bolivia, it doesn't matter. We all went through some version of lockdown and isolation and the fear of ourselves or our loved ones contracting this virus and dying, and a lot of people did die, and so for us to make an album at this time, we we really didn't want to try to force something else, because this was the forefront of our minds for more than 2 years. Like we there was nothing else to write about, really. Yeah. So when finally, you know, when this singles and album came out, you know, we just said to ourselves, like, this is what it's about. And people were just like, thank you so much for your emotion and for like really just understanding what I've gone through. So it's really, really amazing. And not only that, but I think the recording process of us all getting into the studio, we lived together for the first time in like 14 years in the studio, and it was just amazing being around each other. Like, we had such an uplifting time recording it, you know? The subject matter of the songs is not so uplifting, but the recording process was, and I think it made for something special. Just we were really hyper-focused on just the performances and this record just being, you know, something special, and it is.
I saw you're on 2 big emo revival events coming this year, so the Emo's Not Dead and Cruise and the When We Were Young. As a band that helped build that scene, how do you see this revival of interest at the emo and rock scene in general?
Yeah, I think it's cool, you know. We've all, you know, I don't think we really thought about the emo revival thing at all until around 2013-ish, maybe it was 2012, when Taking Back Sunday did a 10-year anniversary of their first album, Tell All Your Friends, and I went to the show, and it's a great record, you know, and a really important album for the scene, you know, or whatever. So you know, that's when I started realizing that this music has longevity and it has life and it means a lot to people, and it's going to transcend generations. I think whenever you make music at whatever time, you're making music for a moment. You're making music for right now, and a lot of music doesn't have the chance to really live on in the future. Like, and there's been so many examples of that. Like, look at hair metal. Who's listening to Rat, you know, or Poison or Whitesnake anymore? Like, you know, those bands basically, like, they died out for whatever reason, you know. Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. It was lame, you know, and it didn't have feeling, it didn't have emotion. But now, for us, you know, in 2015 when we did Discovering the Waterfront 10-year anniversary, and that became a classic album, that really showed us something, and showed us that what we did matters and will matter. And 10 years after it came out, it matters. 15 years and 20 and forever, it will mean something so much to somebody. So the fact that now we're starting to see the scene celebrated with all the emo nights, Emo Night LA, Emo Night Brooklyn, and all the other ones, and now the Emo's Not Dead cruise, you know, it's just a beautiful thing to be a part of, because it was a special time where, honestly, a lot of really great music was made that was really honest music, and that's from real emotions that continues to live on forever. And when we were young, same thing. I mean, incredible lineup they put together in my favorite city in the world, Las Vegas. I am so excited to be a part of that. Like, and that thing exploded, dude. They had 1 million. I heard they had 1 million people on the waiting list for tickets. A million people.
It's going to be huge.
Insane.
There is Trevor, Daniel, and Nothing Nowhere on the album, and that's so cool that a band like Ysselsteyn can acknowledge the new names on the new artists in this revival. I don't know if we can tell this is a revival scene up.
Right. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, Trevor, incredible talent. Nothing Nowhere. Joe is just amazing. Yeah. And these are people that, they're a little bit younger, but they're making incredible art. I think like someone like Joe, Nothing Nowhere is just like head and shoulders above like the rest of his scene, and he's a huge fan of our band. He has been since he was a kid. So to have him come on the track was amazing. But at the same time, we've got Andrew from Comeback Kid. We've got Mike from The Devil Wears Prada. Those are old friends of ours that have been, you know, Andrew's my age. We've been doing it. He's been probably doing it longer than me, you know, in a touring band. So, you know, we've always been a band that has covered a very wide spectrum of sound and genres. For other bands, it might be weird to have Trevor Daniel and, you know, Andrew Neufeld on the same album. But for us, it's not. I mean, you know, Die Alone, one of the heaviest songs we've ever made. But there's also a song called Misery. It's like very, very, you know, mellow. And Live Like This with Nothing Nowhere is like, you know, like a dancey kind of modern track. So we've always run the gamut of what our band can be on all albums. And that's like part of why I think we've never got bored of doing what we do. And we're always excited. Vocally, I can do anything, man. I'm singing, I'm screaming, I'm crooning, I'm shouting. I'm just, it's really fun, man. So it's Silverstein's a fun band to be in because we can do whatever we want.
So many featurings possible to do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, you look at like the features we've done over the last 2 albums, right?
Exactly.
Everything from Intervals, who's like a guitar instrumental guy doing the solo, to Princess Nokia, to all the other guys we've mentioned. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and we've got some great friends too. So shout out to everybody that's you know joined us on this journey and helped us along the way, because it means a lot.
You talk about the 15 years of discovering the waterfront, but are you going to do something for the 20 years?
Yeah, man. You know what's really interesting about discovering the waterfront turning 20 in 2025, our band's also turning 25, you know, quarter century. We've recognized, like I said in the other question, like we've recognized that our music is important to people and has transcended generations, and we don't take that lightly. And, you know, we're always going to make new music and try to beat our last record, and we're never going to turn our backs on our own progression. But at the same time, we're always going to celebrate our history and our past and what got us here, because without that, we wouldn't be here. You know, without our, like when bands say, "Oh, we're not going to play our old songs," or "We're retiring a record," or "retiring a song," it's like, without that, you're not here. Without that, those first fans that gave you that following, that, you know, came to see you on tour and bought your shirts and your records. You would be nothing. So, you know, like, you have to remember that, and you have to think about those people, and we do, you know, and you know, we don't know exactly what we're going to do in the future. We haven't planned that far ahead. We want to live in the moment as well, but, you know, at the same time, you know, we have to remember that we came from that place and that era, and that it's important to our souls and who we are.
Perfect. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Wow, attends, avant de partir, n'oublie pas de mettre un petit like et le follow, parce que l'air de rien, c'est le seul moyen de me montrer que t'as bien aimé, parce que sinon, je le sais pas. Et voilà. Bye.